In this video, we will learn how to create a more complex environment for our AI to explore in. Alrighty guys, we're going to start off here. We're going to remove all these environments. We don't need them because we're going to be making adjustments to our current one. Before we do that though, before we do anything to it, we're going to make a prefab. So first a folder, we're going to call it prefabs. And in here, we're just going to drag our environment. So that way, any changes we make to here, it'll change this one. And if we have any copies, it'll change those as well. And we would just, want to copy this one in there each time. So let's go and we'll open this up. Our first step for making what we want is increasing the size of the play area. So the plane on the ground, we're just going to make it the full original size here. And then we'll move these walls over. Let's get them lined up. That one's good. And this one, and the last ones will be real easy. You want to try to get them lined up as close as you can to the edge. If it's over a bit, it's fine. You just want to try to have it where your agent isn't going to be spawning in them. And then this one, we don't have to worry too much about for lining up because it's already, the corners are covered. So there we go. We have our new play space set up. We can, if we want to, just for looks, lower this guy down. You can see it's still the same height and everything. So let's exit out of here, save. Now that we made the environment larger, we're going to want to actually start adjusting the code a bit. We're going to change how our agent spawns and how the pellet spawns. So let's go over to scripts, agent controller. Load up Visual Studio. My Visual Studio opened on my other monitor, so I'll drag it over once it's complete. Okay, and this is the same code that we had last time. It should look very familiar. So we're going to start off with adjusting the agent spawn and the pellet spawn. So really, we don't need this anymore. We're going to keep one of these target locations because we're going to actually be messing around with that in order to alter it, but we don't need both. Because we're not giving it two options to spawn. We're going to be giving it, move this in, the whole area to spawn. Which there is an issue that you guys might, when you think about it, like we give the whole area to spawn for both the pellet and that. What if they spawn, together at the same spot? That would just be an instant win. We'll address that later on. But right now, I just want to keep these videos fairly short. And just small little pieces to go through. You can always build off of them. That's kind of the purpose, is keep it small, simple. You can build off of it and make your own, which I highly recommend you do. It's the most fun part, is building your own. That's where you're going to learn a lot as well. But let's start with this transform.local position. This is for the agent. I'll even mark it. Normally my code, I put a ton of comments just to explain. I don't have that here mainly because I'm talking as I'm putting it. So instead of writing it down, I'm speaking it. But we don't have to do too much here. Basically, all that we need to do is how we had the random value before that we're using. We're going to use that here to randomly select X and Y. So we'll do random.range. And we're going to use -4F and 4F. And we'll do the exact same thing for the Z value. The way that I got the numbers for that is if we go right here and, this is my scene view. We look at our if I can select the agent, there we go. We look at our agent. You can see right now, X, we'll look at just the X. The X is 0. If we move over to here, right around -4. I mean, we could obviously push it a bit to like -4.5, but we'll give them a little bit of breathing room between the edge for spawning. -4, and if we go all the way over here, a little bit of breathing room. We have 4 here as well. And it's a square, so it's going to be the exact same thing. If we go over to here, right around a value of 4, or -4 there, and 4 here. If I push it up, there we go. I was looking at the number, not the screen down here, so that's why I was going a bit slower. And we'll go and adjust the camera right now. Because we want the camera to be able to view this whole area. We can just go and do this, push it back, rotate it. There we go. Now we can see the whole play area. You can always change the camera angles however you want. we're just gonna have it like this for a nice, top-down, third-person point of view. Just save. Make sure you're saving constantly while going through this, because otherwise, it'll, you might mess something up or crash it. Like let's say we had an infinite loop, you crash and you lose all your progress. Now let's go back into here for pellet grabber. So we have this random range, and then we'll do the exact same thing for the pellet, which we can actually just copy and paste this, because we're going to give it the exact same values. It can spawn within the exact same area as our agent. We don't need to change anything for the observations. We're still only observing where we are within space and where the pellet is in space. The pellet's not moving or anything, so we can just look at the initial position. On action receive, we will be adjusting, but we don't need to adjust that yet. We're going to actually adjust the heuristics first, we're going to adjust the heuristics first. We can copy this and paste here. Now we're going to want to change this because we don't want them to, overwrite each other and fight. And it's going to be for vertical, which will be the W and S on a keyboard. Again, you can change it to, different kinds of inputs if you want through Unity. You have a joystick, anything like that. We're just sticking with good old-fashioned keyboard. Then if we go up here to OnActionReceived, we're going to change this to the X value, so moving on the X. Then we'll copy and paste here and change this for the Z value. So that way, up and down, left and right. We're not going to be moving in 3 dimensions. We're moving in 2 dimensions right now, so there's no jumping. Movement speed, we'll set this down to 4. And then this transform.local position, it's going to kind of change. We're not going to be using this too much. And actually, we're going to make this float so that way we can change it in the editor should we want to. I'm going to make it a public. We should probably do, private and serial. Actually, yeah, we'll do good practice. We don't need anyone else adjusting this. So we'll do that and private float move speed for F. And that will we can always override that in the editor. The editor always takes precedent over code, and we're right here. So then this transform.local position, we're going to make a new variable. It's going to be a vector3 velocity. And we're essentially just going to take this code and throw it in here. And then here we're going to do a move X. This is going to be the Y value. It's just going to stay at 0. We're not adjusting it at all. And a move Z. So now here, we could, if we wanted to, basically just leave it as this. We just name this velocity. If I can spell it. There we go. We just leave it as that. That would work. In fact, let's go in and test that right now, because I believe, we don't need to mess with onTrigger enter. We don't need to change heuristic. Well, we already did. We don't need to change it anymore. So we're good. Let's go in here, access our agent, and we'll change it over to heuristic. And let's test it and just see, does this work? Oh, also I need to change that. We're going to be in full screen. Well, it's okay. You'll get a really good view now. And no, we are missing something. Did we get any errors? We did get errors. Out of bounds. Oh, yeah, we're going to want to, because we have different actions now, we need to increase the size. Let's clear that. We'll switch to unfocused. So that way it stays in this nice little format and it's on a big screen. And let's see if we get any errors now. Nope. We do have an issue though. A and D is moving diagonal. That's a bug right there. So let's go over to here and let's see. You guys might have been yelling at me for this. I told you down here we needed to change that, but we didn't change it here. So it was actually taking both values and it was just, putting them into one array. So we'll save now and test that. And let's see how that goes. Script, field agent, move.speed. What about this? What are you mad about for here? We're using move speed. Move speed is what? It's never used. Oh, wait, did I? Oops, we didn't want to get rid of that. Oh yeah, because I'm calling it as a new variable there. There we go. That'll fix it. It's a global variable now. So now that should go away. Yep, and let's run. Now it should work. Let's wait for it. Is it good? Nope, there we go. And see, look at that. We can move all around. Now you might notice I can move faster diagonally, which is an issue. And we can see it works. Like we can go and we can grab everything. So the last thing that we're going to do is normalize our movement, which essentially, if you guys know what vectors are, I know we use them in this, but if you know what they are in physics and math, they're essentially the amount of force being applied to go in a direction. So if I were to draw out a vector, we have the little box, there'd be an arrow coming out as we move left, and then an arrow coming out as we move right. And the faster we go, the larger the arrow would be. Normalizing it is going to be making it always the same length. So when we're going diagonal, they stack up on each other unless we normalize. So let's go and normalize this value. So we have the transform.local position equals velocity, but we're going to make a change here. We're going to do velocity equals velocity dot normalized, normalized, and we're going to times it by time dot delta time. Now it might seem weird to do that because hey, we're timesing delta time up here. Well, we got to do it again down here. We could probably get rid of it up here. I'm going to leave it right now. I don't think it's that big of a deal. We're not doing anything huge, and if we wanted to optimize, we could look into that. But let's show what it looks like when we don't have time.delta time. So now let's go down to Unity. Let Unity compile everything. Hit play, and wait to see the us spawn in random areas. Be funny if we did spawn in the same areas and we couldn't tell. So look how fast it's going. It's so fast we broke it. We went straight through. Okay. So we're going way too fast there. So if we do time.delta time, it's now going to lock in the speed, basically the tick rate that we're moving at. If you think of it as kind of like Minecraft, where you can increase the tick rate and stuff or decrease, it's going to set the speed based on the time on our computer. So the time at which every second happens, instead of just frame rate. Before it was frame rate. So if you had a computer that's running at like 3 frames per second, it'd probably be pretty manageable. I don't know what the frame rate is on this, but I'm assuming it's pretty high because it's we're not doing very much. And we're going super slow, aren't we? Super slow. What is our speed? Movement speed is 4. Let's try moving it up to 10. That's actually not moving any faster. Oh, I think I know what the issue is. When we normalize, it's locking the vector size to 1. That's a bit of an issue. I think that'll be, I didn't even think about that before. Let me address that real quick, figure out a solution. I'll be right back. Okay, I figured out the issue. The issue is because we're normalizing and, time.delta time to keep everything going at a steady rate. But normalizing, as I said, it ends up putting it at a vector of 1. We want to go faster than that. So we need to multiply by our move speed down here. And we can just get rid of this. You'll see it still works fine because we're, adjusting the speed or the tick rate here. But we're also going to want to go and get rid of this move speed call. Is it prevents us from ever changing the speed in the editor. Because every time we would go to change it, it's just going to get set back to 4 on its own. So let's say here we want to set it to 5. We can set it to 5 now. But we'll set it to 4, see what that looks like. And you guys can see the change for yourself. Let's run it. And see if we can find any bugs before we go into testing. So we can move around if we select the agent And let's give it a speed of 1. You can see it's super slow like that one before. So back to 4. We can move. We can move in every direction. We can grab the pellet. We can hit that wall. We can hit that wall. Hit this wall. Oh, and also diagonal. Look at that. Same speed. Then we can hit that wall. So everything looks good. That means we can save. Then let's open up. Let's go to here. We can grab our Explorer. We can type CMD. Open up command prompt. We'll enable our virtual environment, so MLVNV or whatever you decided to name it. Script. I believe it's scripts actually. Activate. It is not scripts. It's probably script. Oh, hold on. LS. Yeah, we gotta go into pellet grabber. And then activate. There we go. Now we're in the virtual environment. We see that. And so then we can just run the training. And we're just going to use default training again. Actually, before we even do that, now that I'm thinking about it, let's just copy and paste this. Now, I believe we'll see if we can adjust the prefab and see if it'll change the others. So it's, oh, I didn't realize the camera was aimed that direction. Interesting. I was thinking that, you know, we were facing the same direction. Oh, I guess we could just do that. And then it's, you know, facing that direction now. So let's go and we'll move this one over to here. Have it out of view for a nice clean view. Copy and paste this one, and we're just going to copy and paste it a few times. Let's actually, yeah, move out. And I'm going to go silent while we do this. Okay, we have all of that set up. Let's, well, first let's see. Let's just test the prefab. So if I go into here, I go to agent, let's close the wall thing. Let's change this to 10. And so we know the other ones were set to 4. Let's look at this one. Agent, this one should be, oh, it's not set to 10. Is this one set to 10? That one's not set to 10 either. Did this save? It did. Not sure why it's not updating, but that's okay. We'll leave it right now. Main thing is we have the code saved. Then we can zoom out here so we can watch everything from here. And let's go into command prompt. We're going to run MLAgents -learn space --run -id space. I like to do the equal sign. You don't need to. I'm going to call it more movement, run 1. We'll hit enter. Wait for it. There we go. We're running PyTorch 2.1.0 CPU version, not with CUDA cores. So it's not going to be using our GPU all that much. And it's waiting on us to run, so we'll run. And we should... Oh, there is one issue. One little issue. Let's cancel. Let's pause this and double check. This did cancel, right? Yep. We might actually be playing again soon. I think, yeah, I clicked it when it was already stopping, so let's wait for it. There we go, yeah. And now if we look here in agent, we have it on heuristic, which actually might be why it didn't change, because we changed it individually. And so yeah, it's not going to like that. Best way to do this is just to delete everything. Do it again. In fact, let's see, I don't think we've changed anything between all of these, right? So we changed everything script-wise, so we'll delete this one as well. Move this here. Let's copy and paste. We're going to do a test. We're going to see if both will change when we change this prefab. Let's open this. Go to here. Agent. Oh, actually, it's already on here, but let's change it to heuristic. Go back. This agent, heuristic. And this one's heuristic. So when we make a change here, it separates it from the prefab, which we do not want. We don't want it to be separated. We want everything to be together, unless, you know, we don't care and we're fine with having to delete everything again, or we're testing stuff. So that's good. Let's go and fill this out again with copies. Okay, we got the copies filled out. And just to double check, agent, heuristic, or not heuristic, default. Good. And we'll check this one. Yep, default. Okay, we should be good to go now. So we're going to go up here. We'll do run 2. We could resume if we wanted to. We're not. We're just going to do a separate run. Get this going. Yep, it's loading. It's ready. So let's hit play. Bring this up. Index out of bound. Ooh, okay, we hit a bug. So let's stop. What kind of bug did we hit? Console. We were out of bounds. Big ol' error, academy step. Let me read through this and see if I can find out what the issue is. Okay, figured out the issue. Looking around a bit, we had, when we went and we deleted this and put it back, I didn't realize this got reset to 1, and so we want it to be at 2. And we're going to want to change this back to default. And actually, let me change that back to 1. We can fix this, is we're going to want to, I'll reactivate all of these. Because I was wondering if maybe it was just an issue with having multiple. Let's look at this agent. If it's 1, go into here. This agent, change it to 2. Go back. And now these guys should be, that one's at 1 because we adjusted it. But this one's at 2. So this guy is going to not be changing. But that's fine. We'll change it ourselves for now. We'll delete later. And just to double check, this guy's set to, and we'll pick 31 as another one. This guy is, yep, set at 2. So now everything should be good. Put this back. I don't know how big I had this before. We'll say that's a good size. We'll save and keep that change. Open up here. We're going to do run 4. You'll probably be on run 2 or run 1 if you waited to see if I ran into a bug or not. So let's run. And I'll open this back up so we can see. Look at that. He's going through. They're all going through. They're all trying to find this solution. And so let's see what happens. We can see here it's starting to get better on the mean reward. And I believe our mean reward we didn't adjust, so it should still be a -2 or a 2 max. And it looks like it's getting pretty good at solving it. So let's just see if we can get it all the way up to a mean reward of 2 and a standard deviation of 0. Getting close. Okay, I'm thinking we're gonna stop it there because it's getting to like very diminishing returns. I think we can probably keep incrementing a little bit towards a full reward of 2, but it seems like it's still gonna make a couple mistakes. But for the most part, it's doing pretty good. So we'll just wait it out until the next step summary, and we'll stop it there and see how it does. I don't think we're gonna hit 2. Oh, very close. But yeah, we'll call it there. You can keep going if you want. You know, have it max out, be, you know, hopefully pretty perfect at it. But let's run just with the brain. So if we open up here, I know we should be doing it with prefab, but that's okay. The prefab is kind of just there to be a copy. Is this that is going to be the wrong one? So let's do this and open up our Explorer. Go in here and go down to, let's do assets. We're going to rename this one, it's agent controller. We're going to name this side brain because it only went side to side. Then we'll go down to results. Let's see, we're going to be movement run. Yours, it'll be whatever you name it. We're going to do move run for me. We'll grab this one. Come back to here, go into assets, we'll paste it. And we'll call this one, what do you call it? More movement. Call it more movement. Come back into here on agents. We're missing the neural network because we changed the name. We got more move and side brain. Let's do side brain first, just to see. And actually, the brain will only be trained to go left and right, but it'll have the ability to go up and down. So I'm actually curious to see how it'll do. So let's save and run and just see what happens. Meta exists. Okay. Oh, see, look, it's only going side to side, and it's like, wait, there's nothing. There's nothing there. It's well, it was kind of freaking out. Now it's just dying. It was trained for that specific environment, and that was it. So now, actually, can we probably just throw this in while it's active? The more move. Oh, look at that! Look at that instant improvement. Now it gets it's a little hesitant. It's a little sporadic. We can work on fixing that. One thing that I've noticed, I don't know if it'll work with this one specifically because it's a different kind of movement that I've tested it with, but if we turn this off, you can see it's super laggy. It waits 5 ticks or 5 frames to make a decision. Lower that down to 1. Tends to smooth it out a little bit. Just a tiny bit, it smooths it out. Just ever so slightly. Instead of, you know, these take actions between decisions, we just make the decisions, you know, happen sooner. Yeah, that's it. That's our model. I hope that you all enjoyed this tutorial and found it informative and helpful. I hope that you'll use this to build off of and create, you know, amazing projects. If you enjoyed, a thumbs up would be greatly appreciated. And maybe, you know, comment, let me know if there's anything you'd like to see in the future. I still have some plans for what we'll be moving towards this, making this just a little bit more advanced. We're going to add in multiple pellets. They'll all be spawning randomly. We will have an actual face on this guy, a direction that he moves, instead of, you know, how right now it's kind of faceless and it's like a drone in headless mode. And so we'll actually add a direction that it'll be moving in. And so it'll be turning and stuff, and it's just moving, you know, on the cardinal directions. And also, I'd like to mention, I meant to mention it last time and I didn't. Down below in the description, I have a link to a couple other machine learning channels. We haven't worked together or anything like that, but I have found them as a useful resource in my own projects and stuff, and fun just to check out and learn from. And so I highly recommend checking them out, especially if you want to. One of them I know he has a tutorial series that's up to date on Unity, and it's 2D. And so I would recommend, you know, just checking it out, seeing, you know, maybe you'll learn more there than you're learning here. Don't know. I'm sure we'll cover different things, but yeah, I hope that you all enjoyed and you check them out, and I hope to see you all in the next time. See ya.